It's about the simple life, and when things were easier, I could open up a book, I could take a comic, I could open it up and smell it, and probably come pretty close to telling you what year that comic or book was. So, as an infant baby, I was born in the same house that Roger B. Chaffee grew up in. And my mom pulled a brick out and found names of all the family of the Chaffee family on it and put our names in there and put it back. And yeah, I got nothing for that. As a kid, I was in 3 car accidents with my mom. The first one, she hit a bridge. This was a simpler time in life when you could drink and drive safely. And she hit a bridge, and me and the dog Ringo that were in the back seat were in the front seat when it was all over with. The second time was gumming down 131, and she exited without stopping, and a car hit us. And she was wearing a wig at the time, and I was in the back seat, and this wig landed in my hand. And I thought it was her head, and I started screaming. And then she's in the front screaming, "You need to be quiet and calm down." And I couldn't figure out where the voice was coming from. And then the third time was close to home. I grew up south of here in a suburb, Wyoming. And we got in an accident just before we got to home. And the police officer saw me and said, "You need to stop crying." I had a Batman shirt on. And he said, "You know, Batman wouldn't cry. You need to not cry." And I was like, "Your mom's not a drunken whore. I mean, this is..." Okay, I learned to mow the lawn. I'm pretty close. I learned to mow the lawn as a kid, got forced into mowing the lawn. But Christmas, I want to move on to Christmas, because Christmas was a beautiful thing. All my memories of Christmas were cake and glitter. And I hope you all have that same memory of it. And it's not like Krampus Christmas where the evil comes to get you. But it's looking out the window, and I would see snow on the bushes, and that was the cake. And then I found as an adult, when I discovered the silver Christmas tree with the color wheel, that was the glitter. So the tree and it was a beautiful thing. Then my mom was a seamstress, and she sewed everything. She sewed my pants when they got too tight. She would put a strip here, and then when it got too short, she'd add something to the bottom. And she made all of my Halloween costumes, and I was Evel Knievel, and I took advantage inappropriately of my mom's misfortune. She would fall down drunk, everybody would run to help her, and I'd run to get in the photo just to make sure that, you know what, Mom, someday we're going to appreciate this. Unfortunately, 10 days after this, she passed away. Yeah, that sucked. But I had learned to mow the lawn as a child, so as an adult, I said, what we need to do is mow the lawn at 3 a.m. drunk and naked. And that is my best friend who's wearing my underwear on his head, because I'm not. And actually, that's my ex-wife's underwear. Let's just forget that. So, band names. I wanted to have a band, couldn't figure out what to do, couldn't get the guys to pose with me. Pork chops and applesauce. I eventually created a band called Potato Babies, and tragically the name Potato Babies is in memory of my mom, the late Gladys Beavers. Legend has it that as a child I would roll around in the dirt while my loving mother tended to the garden and called me her little potato baby. I just made that up. Yeah, so I had a cat, and that cat's name was Kiss, because in 1983 that was cool. And this cat made it through 4 girlfriends, 3 wives, and the death of my mom. I loved my cat Kiss. Okay. Yeah, you know what? This was a time when you could go on vacation with your family, and my mom would just set me loose in New Orleans, and at age 12, I ran through New Orleans all by myself and got lost. This is what I got for that. She bought me a newspaper that said, I didn't even know what it meant for girls to go wild for Charles Smith. Chaz. So, my mom always said, don't make a fuss about me when I die. She took pictures of every family member when we would go to funerals, and she'd say, this is your uncle so-and-so, this is your grandpa, this is... And when I pass, I don't want you to make a fuss. She died 25 years ago, and every year we gather at her grave, and we party. We drink her Kessler whiskey, we smoke her Alpine cigarettes, we eat her favorite food, and it is a beautiful thing. This last year in Wyoming, 50 people showed up, and because of the internet now, we Skyped my brother in Alabama, and he drank. So, my mom was a drinker. Can anybody make a better bang than that right now? God, okay. So, I unfortunately took a bad photo in like 4th grade and didn't like the way my hair looked. So I thought, I'm gonna save that shirt. Wait, that's 2 different years. I saved the shirt, tried it again the next year, still had a little bit of wang sticking out the side. Damn it. So I thought, someday I'm gonna have the good hair. The good hair is gonna come. Well, it didn't really come. As it turned out, I wanted to be blonde, and you can't just go from, before I got this distinguished look, I was brown, black hair, and you don't just buy this. It just didn't work clearly here. That's Santa on the left and me on the right, in case you can't tell. I'm trying to think of simpler times aren't when you're a kid. 15 years ago, I fell sober wearing one of my mom's dresses off a balcony and broke my femur in 3 places. It is like jelly right here, and I broke my arm. When the police came, they were like, everybody turn your head. We have to lift the dress and put him in traction. And they were like, we've been looking at his junk all night long in this dress. We're fine. I don't have time to tell you the story of the hot dogger, but imagine that you would put hot dogs between this, plug it in, and zap the hot dogs. And I thought you had to always make 8 hot dogs at a time. So I would make the hot dogs 8 at a time, do them all up in relish, hide them around the house, and my dad would find them. My mom would come to every party that we ever had, and every time we had a party, I would sing happy birthday, and for some reason I dropped my pants. My mom was embarrassed and tried to get away. This is perfectly accidental. I reached to pull her in closer to the photo, and somebody snapped that picture. It is the most beautiful memory I have, is me grabbing mom's boobie at 28 years old.